There we go. Hello! My god, it's been a while. So, I've been checking out the YouTube channel, and it looks like the last one was 3 years ago. Obviously, a lot of things have changed in the last 3 years. I moved houses, I changed jobs. In fact, I just quit that job yesterday. I got married, and a bunch of other things happened, like I started a bunch of creative endeavors that I've been wanting to for quite some time too, in fact. There was the ongoing comic project, which is probably like the longest streak since 2010. And also I started a podcast project, which honestly has been quite gratifying. It's still early days, and I think there's a lot more work that I need to do. And I'm probably not putting enough work on it, but I think from what I've done, I have been getting some appreciation from my immediate circle of friends and the new podcaster crowd that I hang out with. So yeah, that's what's been going on. I've been wanting to do this vlog thing for quite some time now, but I just keep pushing it to the back of my head. I hope to continue with this now because I think one of the things that I want to do, especially now that I have a little more free time, is to make my podcast a video podcast. And so it would be awesome if I could, get the video capture and editing and, get that process streamlined so that I can just put out episodes faster and smoother and, with far less hassle. Because as it stands, there's a lot of work that goes into creating what I'm doing right now, and I'm pretty sure that I'm not doing it right. Like, I think I'm quite it's not inefficiency. I think that there's just a lot of moving parts, and there's a lot of variables which I believe can be streamlined in a much better fashion. So I'm going to try and spend the next 2 weeks before I join the new job. I'm going to spend the next 2 weeks trying to figure out how to do this well, how to make the process easier. And I think for a start, I'm going to declutter the space that I have right now. It's an absolute mess, and I think it's just the outcome of testing and trying out different kinds of equipment, different kinds of arms and mounts and mics, and and it just like piles up and it adds up, and I think the very fact that this whole place is just super cluttered makes me want to start afresh, and from there I can probably figure out a quicker way to access stuff and plug in things and figure out what I really want. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. But otherwise, I think this channel would be a good opportunity for me to just vent and rant and just talk about various things, and just kind of have this to be a video dump of sorts. I've been meaning to consolidate all the notes that I have. I've been meaning to put some thought into the different threads that I have going on about different subjects related to the podcast and otherwise. There's also a whole bunch of career related and personal goals and aspirations that I want to put some more thought into and figure out. And I'm really hoping that I can formulate a system that allows me to, one, capture all the thoughts that I have, two, organize them in a way that's coherent, and organize them in a way that crystallizes my thought process around certain things, so that it's just easy to retrieve information rather than having to just wing it every time I have to think about it. And also, like, set or put down on paper, sort of figuratively, so to speak, put down on paper a lot of the goals that I have and the steps that I need to take to do it. So a lot of these goals that I had, have always been just, knocking around inside my head, and I've never really committed to it simply because there's just a whole bunch of things that it's competing with, in my daily life. So I'm trying to figure out a system, and right now it's just a mixture of so many things. I've got post-it notes, I've got reminders, I've got Roam Research is a note-making app that I'm exploring, I've got OneNote, which has consistently been a place to put down my notes, and which I've kind of liked better than most. And I'm hoping that this channel will be kind of a place for me to take a snapshot of my life. I really enjoyed doing these little snapshot videos way back in the day. I think from 2011, I think, and I've taken videos of myself at different points in time talking about where I'm at, and they're very instructive, and it just kind of, I can see the growth of myself, or rather the lack of it, depending on what you're looking at. But it's quite interesting to see what's changed, what is not, and what is also fascinating for me was how a lot of the things that I ponder about, a lot of the things that I grapple with right now was the same back then. Like, it's like nothing has changed, so I go in these cycles of thoughts and needs and wants and dreams and aspirations, but because I don't really have a solid game plan that I've set in stone somewhere, I just keep doing that cycle. So if I could just track all of these down and then, every couple of months just go back to this and see where I'm at, I think that would be just fantastic. So yeah, that's what I have in mind. Like, OneNote is going to be a place to have like info dumps and information that I want to collate in essay format, or possibly coherent opinions and arguments that, will just come to me easier once I've written them down. It also helps me organize my thoughts better. Then I have Rome Research, which I'm still evaluating as a tool, because it's $15 a month, and I'm not sure if I'll be using it enough to justify $15 a month, So I'm trying to see if it gives me value, and so far it's pretty interesting as a tool, but the jury's still out on that. And then this video, which is going to be like fulfill two. It's going to fulfill two things, which is one, it's still a snapshot from my life, and number two, it would make me a lot more comfortable with editing videos, and also make me more comfortable about doing narration or parts of the podcast, through this camera. So, yeah, that's. I got big plans, and it's 2020, not the best of years, in fact, the worst of years, but. This would be a good opportunity to work on streamlining a lot of things that I've been wanting to do for more than a decade. And I was just reminded of the fact that there was back in 2010, I had, aspirations of being a webcomic artist, and I have, but what I realized was, if I had put in the effort from way back then, if I had a game plan from 2010, I could have, honed my skill better. I would have put a lot more art out there. I could have really done something with that project. But as it stands, me being the lackadaisical, non-committal, inconsistent person that I am, I've just kept starting and stopping and forgetting and starting again and going through that same cycle over and over again. So it's all going to change today. It's all going to change over the next couple of days when I figure these things out, and hopefully this will keep me consistent. So that's enough verbiage from me today. It is the 24th of November 2020 here in Singapore, and future Indo, if you're listening to this, hopefully you will have done a lot of the things that I said I would do in this video. So here's cheers to that. Bye.